Hey y'all, in today's video I thought I'd take you through what I do to clean up and then store the onions. So if you remember from my last video, we got the onions to the point of lifting them out of the garden and then setting them out here on the pallets so that they could cure or dry up a little bit so that when they go into storage, we eliminate the risk of molding and rotting so that they'll store for a maximum period of time. And so this last batch of onions has been sitting out here for a while now, and as you can see, they're pretty dry. These tops were green when I harvested them. Now they're pretty brittle and they're pretty dry. And the skin on the onions gotten a little dry and brittle. And so we don't want to store them like this. We want to clean them up so they look a little bit better. We don't want all the dirt in storage. And this job couldn't be easier. Literally all I do is take my trusty little snippers here. I got these for my birthday this year from some friends. They're the garden tool that I never knew I needed. These little Fisker snippers, but they work great for this job. All I do is here at the neck, I'm just gonna cut it off. I don't wanna get too close. I wanna leave a little bit of neck there. And as you can see, it's all completely dried. There's no moisture left in there. When you rub it between your fingers, you shouldn't have any slippage at all. So I trim that up. The root end, I'm just gonna take and trim off any of the dried roots there. And then I'll just brush off any of the extra dry skins. I don't wanna get too aggressive with this part. You wanna leave most of the skins on there because that's the waterproofing of your onion. And there you go. We have a clean, trimmed bulb that is ready for storage. I have 75 more of these to do. All right, everybody, we've got them all cleaned up, but I wanted to show you a few things that I came across as I was doing it. So, not every onion works. And this is an example of one that it might have got damaged or bruised when I was pulling it out of the garden, but it's rotted out of the bottom. I mean, it's real squishy and gross. So this is a loss. But out of 75, if you lose one, not too bad. Another thing I wanted to show you was there was a couple of onions that I had that had gone to seed. They had sent up a seed head, and I had mentioned that you can still use them, they'll still be good, they just don't store as long. And this is likely why. So this neck doesn't really dry out really well, and it stays really kind of foamy and moist in there, and that becomes an entry point for bacteria and other pathogens that'll destroy the onion over time. So if you do have them that have gone to seed like that, not a big deal, just make sure you use them up first, and you should be okay. Here was the last one that I had that had gone to seed. Got quite a little seed head on it. And as you can see, it's still really moist. And this is after, gosh, I think it's been 3 weeks that I've had them sitting out here, and it's been 95 to 100 and something over the last few weeks, so still didn't dry out. So we'll just use them up first, and they'll be just fine. As far as storing onions goes, you just want to store them in a place where they'll be dry, where they won't get exposed to a lot of moisture or the elements, and you want to give them a lot of air circulation. We store ours in burlap sacks in a crate in my parents' garage. Throughout the winter, it stays above freezing in there. We're in Utah, so things stay pretty dry in our climate. If you're in a more humid climate, you want to have a little more temperature controlled or moisture controlled environment store them and get the maximum storage time out of them. These that we did today, I hope to get 10 to 12 months of storage out of them, and typically we do. The ones I did a few weeks ago are a shorter storage onion, and we'll only get about maybe 6 months of storage out of them. So we'll use those first, and then we'll go ahead and use these ones. But again, just somewhere where they can get good air circulation, where they won't be exposed to a lot of moisture or the elements, and you want to keep them above freezing. If you can keep them in a controlled environment where they're in 40 to 50 degrees, then you'll get really, really good storage. Moisture ultimately though is the biggest killer of your onions as far as storage capacity goes. So yeah, that's it. If you like the video, go ahead and hit like. If you want to see more, go ahead and hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any questions or any ideas for other videos, things that are weighing on your mind in your garden. I'll do the best I can to answer them, and we'll see you in the next one.